Hello everybody, and we're here again in the Accidental Theatre as part of our season of Green Room Conversations as part of the Ulster Orchestra's digital offering, and delighted this afternoon to be joined by Soprano Ailish Tynan. Ailish, hello.
Hi Patrick.
We have had a long and happy relationship with you as an orchestra, going back some years now, and our regular audiences will be very, very familiar with you. How do you think your own performances have changed? And I don't know whether you can kind of judge it by coming back to a hall like the Ulster Hall that you know very well, by coming back to an orchestra that you know very well. Do you have a sort of sense of how your own voice has changed and your own means of performance by coming back to something that's constant?
Yeah, well, that's actually a really good way to think about it, and I hadn't thought about it until you said that. But actually, now coming back into the same space that you've sung in over and over again, and mind you, the Ulster Hall is the most exquisite space to sing in. The acoustic's fantastic, and it's very helpful. But certainly over the years, I can feel the weight in my voice is changing, the colour, it's becoming darker, maybe, and richer. I mean, just with old age, it's great. I love getting older. Oh. Everyone else is complaining about getting old, but it's doing my voice wonders. And yes, I have been coming to the Ulster Orchestra a long, long time. And even when you yourself were in the orchestra, I remember you sitting up there now, and I'd be giving you a wave, and now look at you running the whole thing. The boss. I have to be nice to you now, Patrick.
Yes, very good. So take me back to before your days on the stage of the Ulster Hall. Where did it start for you? Who were the big helps for you to get you to where you were? Kind of early career, I suppose.
Well, I was a very unlikely candidate to become an opera singer. I think most people who would have known me in my college days might have thought I was on path really to become an alcoholic or a party animal. So when I was actually at college, I was studying an education degree at Trinity, the BMuS it was called, Bachelor in Music Education, with a view to becoming a teacher. But after I left college, I realised that teaching children was actually extremely hard work. And I take my hat off to anybody who does it. So I ended up dropping the teaching and thinking, hang on a minute, I think I can make a few quid an easier way, taking up this singing lark. And of course, all along, people had always said to me, oh, you should become a singer. But, you know, coming from Mullingar in the middle of Ireland, you know, we don't have an opera theatre there. And you kind of think opera singer is not really a realistic job title. So it took me quite a few years, and eventually I found myself in London. I came over and did some auditions, and I ended up getting into the opera course at Guildhall. And while I was there, I was spotted for the Young Artist Programme at Covent Garden. And then while I was at Covent Garden, I was put forward as the Irish representative for Cardiff Singer of the World, and I won the Leader Prize, as it's known as. It was the Rosenblatt Recital Prize the year I won it, and all those, and I became a BBC New Generation artist. So those kind of three things at the same time were kind of, I would say, what launched me. And then over the years, that's a long time ago now, that was kind of all around 2003. And then, since then, I've just been basically making a living. As I say to young singers who panic about not being the most famous singer in the world yesterday, I say to them, if you're paying your bills at the end of every month in this business, you're a superstar.
That's it. I mean, at a base level, this is a job for all of us, and we have to find ways to make it work, especially through some really difficult times over the last couple of years. But I think, from what I see of what you've been doing over the last couple of years, you've never been more busy.
I know.
Through some real key relationships. I mean, you have the relationship with Wigmore, yeah, which is, I know, a big part of what you do. Tell me about how things have been over the last couple of years.
Well, yeah, it was really actually quite lucky for me, because I have a little one. She's about to be 5 in a couple of weeks, Daisy, and she had just turned 3 when the pandemic started. And I had kind of said to myself, look, I'll take a step back for the first 3 years, get her on her feet, and then when she turns 3, I'll get back into work more seriously, which of course involves going away from home as a singer. So when the pandemic hit, it meant that I got to spend another year at home with her, which was a real bonus and a gift, actually. And then a lot of the work that was supposed to happen that year actually just kind of moved itself forward to 2021. So I was crazy busy in 2021. And as you say, I did stuff at Wigmore, and because I have a very strong connection there. I love singing there. And also I have a great connection with Grange Park Opera. So last summer I did Mimì and La Bohème with them, which kept me busy for most of the spring and most of the summer.
And the first time you played that role?
My first time to sing it, yeah, which is kind of an indication of as well how the voice is changing. I mean, 10 years ago, people would never have dreamed of casting me in that role, but now with the voice changing, it's
this sort of progression of career into actually an almost sort of different sort of career, to look at roles that... Is that something that you had expected would happen, or is this just a sort of a happy kind of...
No, I mean, it's the way an awful lot of people would hope it goes, because of course if you stay light and soubrette, then your career is over by the time you're 35. So people would hope that that would happen, but I don't think any of it is a given. So I feel very, very lucky that, and I think also part of the reason why I'm still doing it now and I still kind of maybe sound fresh voiced is that I didn't push myself earlier on. You know, I wasn't saying 10 years ago, I want to sing Mimì, I want to sing this, that and the other. You know, I was quite happy with what I was doing, and I love singing recitals. I love doing concerts with people like the Ulster Orchestra. So that kind of attitude towards it, I think, has preserved my voice maybe a little bit better than if I was going at it hammer and tongs.
Lots of music in your household, husband's trombonist, and Daisy, is she showing any kind of interest in what mum and dad do? Or is it...
We're not pushing her at all. I mean, of course, we're practicing at home. He's principal bass trombone at the Royal Opera House, so he's playing his trombone the whole time. I don't do nearly as much practice as him, but so she's hearing it. But we've been sending her to these little ukulele lessons, and she arrived home the other day and she started giving me a music lesson. I was astonished with what she was learning. She was writing down, she's only 4, like, she was writing down crotchets and quavers, and she was writing in rests. I thought, well, I'm glad somebody's teaching her, because we aren't. But she's mad, she loves everything, this one. She loves gymnastics, she loves music, she loves writing her name, you know, she's into it all.
Yeah, great that you give them the space to find lots and lots of different things to do.
Yeah.
What does the next couple of seasons look like for you then?
Yeah, busy, looking good. I've got Garsington Opera this summer. I'm doing Despina and Così fan tutte. I've got quite a few things at Wigmore Hall. I've got a recital this Saturday with Andras Schiff there, so that's nice. And I've got lots and lots of concerts and great stuff happening. You know something, Patrick, now if I'm very nice to you, maybe I'll even get asked back to do another Ulster Orchestra gig.
You know you will, and plenty more for years to come, I'm sure, because we have this great relationship, and I know players really sort of light up when you're on stage with them. So
I love them, and as you know, it's great to go back to an orchestra and get familiar with the players and know what you're going to get, you know.
Yeah, and from Jacques as well, and that's a long-running relationship, and I guess with a lot of trust on both sides, and something that presumably strengthens and makes every performance a little easier, because you know each other and
for
how
absolute sure. I mean, Jack and myself have been doing stuff for years together, and we did an opera together, so you know there's an awful lot of time commitment. People probably don't realise, but there's about maybe 6 weeks or 2 months of rehearsals before the shows even start. So you know you could spend a whole 4 months of a year with somebody, and Jack and I have done that in the past. We've become great friends, and as you say, trust. That is such a fantastic thing with Jack. I just know he's there. I know he knows what he's doing, which is very important. He understands singers, and he's very supportive. He's brilliant.
Wonderful. Ailish, this has been brilliant. A real blast. Thanks ever so much for taking the time with us. And we look forward to everything else that we do with you in the future.
And me too. Thanks, Patrick.
Thank you.